story that we should be talking about. I think that we have a lot to be talking about as a world, as a country, not just men in power with people trying to get an opportunity. This happens all the time, everywhere. Women, there's not equality, and we've got a lot of work to do. And just talking about it and making these stories, and people that are saying we stand in solidarity. Well, stand in solidarity, then tell stories.
At the beginning of this video, there was a short interview clip. Some of the stronger words had to be cut out, but the clip showed Blake Lively speaking about the issue of sexual harassment in the film industry. The interview happened after the accusations against Harvey Weinstein became public. At that moment, she had the chance to directly condemn him, but instead, she shifted the conversation toward a broader discussion. She talked about how women around the world face inequality and how many industries still have problems with fairness. Rather than focusing on the actions of one powerful producer who had been accused by many actresses and crew members over the years, she suggested the issue was part of a larger system and not just about men in power taking advantage of people who want opportunities. She also said that she personally had never seen that behavior and that it had never happened to her. In another situation, when people asked her to speak out against Woody Allen, she described him as empowering for women. When Dylan Farrow later asked her to denounce him publicly, she stayed silent. These moments have led some people to question whether she truly understands what modern feminism is supposed to represent. Critics even point to the irony that she is married to Ryan Reynolds, while some believe his behavior in this situation contradicts the image he presents publicly. From the perspective of someone who has personally experienced harassment or assault, the last thing you would usually want is to be placed closer to the person who made you uncomfortable. That is why new information in this legal dispute has raised so many questions. Recently, additional evidence connected to WME was revealed. The agency now appears to be trying to distance itself from what may soon become public testimony from Danny Greenberg. Greenberg is an agent connected to Justin Baldoni, and the agency has argued that he only repeated information he heard from Baldoni and Jamie Heath, rather than having direct knowledge himself. However, many observers believe that claim does not match the evidence. According to multiple reports, WME agents were deeply involved in casting decisions and in managing the growing conflict between Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and the production team. Despite that involvement, the agency is now saying Greenberg had no first-hand knowledge. They also claim that Patrick Whitesell, a former executive at the agency, only heard rumors and should not be connected to the case through text messages. Yet the text messages themselves appear to show something different. For example, in late December 2023, Greenberg contacted Baldoni asking how his week had gone and offering support. Baldoni replied that the situation had been extremely difficult. He said Blake had emailed him directly, inviting him to a meeting at her home, and that he could come alone if he wanted. He also mentioned disagreements about body doubles and storyboards for intimate scenes, explaining that she wanted to keep more clothing involved during a major love scene, even though the original book portrayed it differently. Baldoni said he had tried to compromise and give her most of what she requested, simply to keep production moving forward, but the experience had been exhausting. The messages show that the meeting was scheduled at Blake's home, and Baldoni seemed uneasy about the idea. He also said that Blake did not want Jamie Heath present on set, which the team was pushing back against. Greenberg then replied that there needed to be boundaries, and that he might speak with producer Todd Black or even Blake's agent if necessary. This is important because it contradicts the claim that Greenberg had no involvement beyond passing along second-hand information. In the messages, Baldoni explained that he was trying to remain positive, but expected more conflict later during the editing process, because he would not be able to give her everything she wanted creatively. The conversation also shows that he worried her actions could damage her professional reputation if the situation continued escalating. The meeting itself raises another major question. According to the timeline, Blake Lively emailed Baldoni on December 28, asking to schedule a meeting before production resumed on January 4. She suggested hosting it at her apartment in Tribeca, and even wrote that she would be happy if he came alone, although she also said the full team could attend if preferred. Many people found this strange, considering the later claims that Baldoni behaved like a predator. If someone truly believed another person posed that kind of threat, inviting them alone to a private residence would seem unusual. Critics argue that business meetings in Hollywood are normally held in offices, studios, or other neutral professional locations, rather than in someone's home. When a meeting happens inside a private residence, the environment naturally favors the host, because they control the space and the situation. If emotions run high, there are fewer witnesses and less accountability. Baldoni apparently understood that risk and made sure others were aware of the meeting and what was happening. Some observers believe Blake also wanted Jamie Heath removed from the production because he served as a key executive connected to the production company. If he were removed, it could potentially change the hierarchy of producer credits and influence within the project. That has led to speculation that control over the production may have been a significant factor behind the conflict long before filming even entered its next stage. The dispute expanded even further when attention turned toward Ryan. Text messages suggest he played an active role behind the scenes. In July, he allegedly contacted Baldoni's agent and strongly criticized Baldoni's character, calling him a dangerous predator and insisting he should not attend the film's premiere. The agent reportedly tried to challenge those claims and reason with him, but Reynolds refused to consider any alternative explanation. Baldoni and his colleagues were reportedly disturbed by what they saw as a deliberate attempt to damage his reputation. Now Reynolds is asking the court to permanently seal several sets of text messages connected to these events. He argues that the messages involve private communications with his agent and could expose personal details about his marriage and family. His legal team claims releasing them would only fuel sensational curiosity, rather than serve a legitimate public interest. However, critics argue the messages are important, because they could reveal whether he interfered in the production, or attempted to pressure other parties during the dispute. Another key issue relates to the Writers Guild of America. Reports surfaced that Reynolds may have contributed writing work to a scene in the film even though he was not officially contracted as a writer. Sony's legal team asked for clarification after hearing public comments suggesting he helped rewrite a rooftop scene. If he performed writing services without proper contracts or during a labor strike, it could potentially violate guild rules. Observers believe this may be another reason he wants certain communications hidden. By August, tensions had grown even worse. According to reports, Reynolds and Lively became angry about how the film was being marketed. They believed the promotional campaign was presenting the movie in a way that made it appear lighter and more commercial, while Baldoni was discussing the deeper and more serious themes in interviews. They reportedly demanded that Baldoni's production company release a statement, taking responsibility for negative publicity affecting them. When the company refused, they warned that the situation could escalate. At one point, Reynolds allegedly offered to write a statement himself and expected the company to publish it. Executives who reviewed the proposed statement reportedly concluded that it was vague and might actually increase criticism rather than reduce it. They rejected the demand, which further intensified the dispute. These details have fueled the argument that the current legal battle is not only about Blake Lively's reputation, but also about protecting Ryan Reynolds. If the sealed messages eventually become public, they could reveal how involved he truly was behind the scenes, whether he attempted to pressure other parties, and whether he violated professional rules related to writing work. Supporters of transparency argue that if those remain hidden, it would remove critical evidence from the case. A judge has already suggested that private personal information could be redacted while still allowing the relevant facts to be disclosed. For that reason, many observers doubt that the court will agree to seal the communications entirely. If the texts do become public, they could dramatically change the public narrative around the entire situation. Some believe they might reveal conflicts inside the marriage itself, or show a side of Reynolds that contradicts the friendly image he presents to audiences. Others believe they will simply clarify misunderstandings and show how complicated the situation truly was. What is clear is that the outcome could have major consequences for everyone involved. If the messages support the accusations of threats, interference, or manipulation, the reputations of several major figures in the entertainment industry could be seriously affected. For now, the legal fight continues as both sides attempt to control which pieces of evidence the public will eventually see.